Hello, this is LEGO's Marvel Superheroes Airport Battle set, based on events from the upcoming Captain America Civil War movie. Of course, you can't really have a set with airport in the name without including at least one airplane, so they've included a new Quinjet. This is a completely new build, and it's much smaller than the previous minifig scaled ones. However, I think it looks phenomenal. I think it's by far the best looking Quinjet that LEGO has made to date. I just love the shaping of everything dark blue here. The color scheme, actually, all of it goes together pretty well. They managed to not have any of the kind of inside parts of different colors showing here. So there's nothing annoying to me to look at here. Nothing that I wish they had hidden away or changed out in some way with different colors. Just all of this shaping is just marvelous. It's perfect. It's great. I love it. And you still get the ability to change up your wingtip angles. You know, you can fold those all the way in like this if you want to. You do a little miniature gull wing thing out at the edge. You know, however you want to set that up. These are also on hinges, so you can bring them up. That kind of changes the look of the whole thing, I'd say. I don't know how official that is, but it's just another option there. Does have one very major sticker that was a little bit of a pain to apply for the canopy there, but it looks really good once you get it on there, because you can see the people inside, and with that nice trans dark blue color, you can see through nicely with a tint, a very strong tint, but it still lets enough light through. The canopy opens very easily, just hinges open, and the area fits two people, so one goes in the front and one can go back in the back there. The one in the back kind of gets sat up a little bit more vertical, so this guy ends up kind of cramping the space just a little bit, but it's not too bad. It does fit them in there. A little bit of console on the front of that, but at the other end of this thing, you know, all these angles here just look great to me, but turning it around kind of ends very abruptly. And, you know, in universe, the latest design of these things does end pretty abruptly. Doesn't look so great from the back, but this looks even less great to me from the back than the real things do. Especially with these gear, the wheels are just a little bit too toyish. I know it's a toy, but they just look too toyish to me. But even at that, kind of like the shaping of the thing viewed directly from the back, and everything here, everything else, all the other angles just look so good to me that I'm gonna just let this slide. Especially when you consider that this has a good feature in it. Even though it's still a much smaller build than the previous ones, there's still space on the inside. You can open up the rear hatch and pull a dude out, and he can hang there, and you can scrape him across the ground, or you can have him, you know, doing kung fu against folks as you just fly by, or you can have him rescue somebody, or you can just drop him down into battle. So that's nice that there actually is some usable space here. The space kind of in the center is taken up by something entirely different still. I'm just gonna let Cap hang there for a while. I'm kind of mad at him for something earlier. Hey, this knob on the top, this gear, activates an action feature in the belly of the beast. It brings down, oops, which way do I turn it? There it goes. A shooter, a dual shooter, stud shooter, just a couple of regular trans yellow studs get attached to it. It's used for attacking ground targets. It's not able to turn around or anything. The only aiming that you can do with it is if you turn the entire plane around, or you can kind of change its attitude a little bit like that, but it's cool. Most of the action in the movie, I'm sure, is going to be occurring on the ground, so this allows you to give close ground support, and it's a nice little action. It's nicely built in there with just a few gears, if I recall correctly, on the inside. The whole thing was actually enjoyable to put together, so this is a big success in my view. This is a pretty cool looking control tower as well. In my opinion, one of the better looking control tower builds that LEGO has put into an official set. Yeah, it has a lot of shaping. You know, it's done in a more complex way overall than it needed to be, much more complex than others with the shapes. And you've got some cargo down there, you've got signage, There's space on the inside of the thing, a couple of different levels. So there's a lower level down there. It's kind of an engineering area. Look at this, you even have steps coming up to the door. Look at this. Restricted area, authorized minifigures only. Nice touch, really fully Lego-ifying it, if you will. I want to use that sticker for more different places. It's not really, just specific to this particular set. I like that. That computer right there looks like it has a list of flights, and that's a keyboard next to it. You can store things down here. There's nothing in there right now, but it's just some space, and it's nice that they give us some space to put some other stuff. And then this is the actual tower area itself, a little bit more difficult to see down inside of there, but a couple more computer screens, showing you traffic on the ground and in the air. Just stickers there, and then just one small little printed panel piece, console piece, and you can turn the chair around so one person can sit in there. This can also be spun up, the radar bar, I think, with the lights on the ends. They instrumented in some destruction features as well. This is a lever over here, which thankfully is not super bright red or yellow and kind of screaming at you. It's nicely integrated in, at least with the colors of just this stripe of light gray going through there. You push that down and it basically just pushes more of these on the inside so that these two breakaway panels here, which are built up, can just be pushed out. So you push that quickly and those just come out, and they're attached very simply. These two assemblies right here, you see how they just go together like a couple pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. So just a little bit of random destruction. These are also intended to come out and to kind of explode or look like they're exploding, but it's a strange mechanism that they came up with for that. I'm sure that it's going to tie into something specific that happens in the movie, but the activation for that is down there in that little mouse hole area. So that's the spot. So you need to take a wrench like this. Oh, that's great. The entire tool rack came off. Was not the intent. You can take the end of this and stick it in there to activate the mechanism, but that's not the intent either. The intent here is for you to take Ant-Man in his tiny form. Oh, we're gonna have to take a look at that. He is going to actually blast through there in his small form, and when he does, these come out. See, it's just a little bit of axle that gets pushed through, and each of these has a little half pin in it, so you can arrange those however you want and just stack more of them and try to hide the pins away. So one of those just gets attached into the Technic hole over here, and when you push something small into that hole, then it just pushes the axle out and everything comes springing out. Since I showed you Ant-Man though, here's a closer look at him in his nano figure form. That's cool. Very collectible. I like nano figures. I've liked just the mold even when it was just using a single color originally, and now that they're continuing to make some in these really tiny forms, I think it's great because they make for great action figures, for minifigures to collect. And this set, believe it or not, actually comes with two of those. You buy one set and they include a spare of that. That is phenomenal. They do not, however, include a regular minifig sized Scott Lang Ant-Man here, but I did want to bring that in to show you the difference in scale and just how cool it is to see a minifigure scaled down but still rendered in Lego and still attachable, with the normal stud size on the base. They didn't print anything on the back of the torso, but that really doesn't bug me too much because it's just so cool that the front is printed so well, and they did print the head all the way around, so you got the full silver. They did, however, include this giant scale version of Ant-Man. Did you hear that? Did you hear that sound of thousands of kids around the world simultaneously screaming at their computer screens or their phones saying, "It's not Ant-Man, it's Giant Man." Well, yes, officially it's Giant Man, but it's just Ant-Man in big form. They reverse the polarity on his suit, and instead of getting small, he gets big. It's Ant-Man. It's still Scott Lang in there. This is included, and this is phenomenal. Call me crazy, but for me, this alone is enough reason to buy this set, just for me personally. I'm not saying that you must buy this set because it has this. Only if you want it. I think this thing is just great because they have actually taken, and I'm going to bring in once again the figure that's not included in this set just for reference, the minifigure. They've taken a minifigure and they've scaled it up. They didn't try to make it look more like the real thing because they could. They didn't try to, give it better proportions. They just scaled from minifig up to this, and I think it's one of the coolest things that I've seen in a long, long time from Lego. Even has pretty proper looking articulation of the legs. Look at that. You can get them to stand just like that. I love it. The arms are on ball joints, so you can, oh wow, you can do more splits. You can do more with the arms. Wow, look at that. You can do more with the arms on this than you can with an actual minifigure, but I think that's excusable. Oh, boo-hoo, they can do a little bit more. The hands don't look that great to me. I trust that it's the best that they could come up with, that the designer could come up with for, wow, now he's breakdancing. Get him back on regular footing. I trust that the hands are the best that the designer could come up with within the constraints of actually releasing a Lego product that has to be durable, has to not fall apart. And I'm sure that there are more believable ways to pull that off, but I'm happy with it. It articulates more than a normal figure, and I'm still happy with it. What I'm even more happy with is what they've done with this head, and I'm actually pretty surprised with what they've done with this head for a couple of reasons. First of all, there's a new part there, and secondly, you can do that. You can actually bring the mouthpiece down. To show you the new part, to continue my train of thought, it's a 4x4 cylinder, but it's a half 4x4 cylinder that is 2 bricks tall, and it's printed. That's not a sticker. That's a print, a curved surface. If they can do that, why didn't they do prints on more different things? That's great. I love it. This is all good. Everything about this. You can also turn the head. Yes. Yes. I love this thing. I love it so much. I want Lego to do an entire series of figures like this. Licensed or not, I don't care. This is the greatest thing. It's like a proper big fig. This is a big version of a minifig. I could gush on this for probably another half an hour, so let me stop and move on. There are other figures and other characters in this set that are desirable as well, including the new version of Iron Man, new version of War Machine, and this one, when I first opened up the bag that had the parts for this character in there, I said, oh, so they did end up making a version of Black Widow that has the correct hairstyle. But why is it a different color? It's not Black Widow, it's Agent 13. Oh. And then Scarlet Witch over there. These are all good figures. These are all quite good figures. I like the prints. I like the choices of pretty much everything. There are the primary faces for the suited gentlemen. And from the backs by default, you can't really see all that much. But part of the problem, at least for one of them, is the actual War Machine pack, which now has a stud shooter on it, which I think is a good choice. I think it integrates in just fine. These are the alternate, more mean and serious faces, and with stuff removed from the back, so you can now see all of the back prints very clearly. And note that Scarlet Witch gets her own special cloth piece. And with her hair removed, you can see the rest of the front of the torso print. Of course, you already saw that Captain America and the Winter Soldier are both included in the set as well, making this into really a superhero, or at least Marvel superhero minifig collector's gold mine. And this is a lot of good, hard-hitting stuff to include in a single set. Finishing things off, this is just a little baggage handling rig to use between an airplane and the terminal, and this is a nice, small pair of builds. They even include a couple of signaling batons there that you can use if you're wanting to use this with other things and kind of expand out the use. Opening doors there. You can put a minifigure in the seat. The cart is nice. The luggage actually has stickers. Each little briefcase there has a sticker. And there's an action feature here which I find to be completely useless. It's just this. You push back here and the whole thing is on a hinge, so you kind of make all the baggage go everywhere. It's kind of nice to hide something under there. maybe that's a good use. But as far as just making everything explode in play, kids would just put stuff on there, and if you want to make it look, you know, dramatic, just that's probably more dramatic than pushing the button there. But I think that right there, you know, as a hiding place is a good idea. And these stickers are pretty clever here as well. The BLL stands for the Billund Airport. It's its call sign, and these are cool too. So obviously I've spent too much time just telling you that I like this set and pretty much everything in it, especially the giant Ant-Man, who is not Ant-Man, it's Giant Man, but it's actually just a giant Ant-Man. If you like this set as well, please let that be known by leaving a comment saying the same. If you dislike this set and you completely disagree with my opinions on it, please let that be known by leaving a comment saying the same. Thank you in advance for your feedback, and thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.